Nancy Drew, Secrets Can Chill. Chapter 13, Minor Investigation. Nancy left Maxine's and yawned. She has finished talking with everyone for the time being, which meant it was time for some minor investigation. Her first destination? Aunt Eloise's house. Auntie El must have hid the key to the teacher's lounge somewhere in her house, Nancy said to herself. Think, Nancy, think. If you were a book-obsessed librarian, where would you hide a key? Nancy thought for a moment. In the VCR, she said. Nobody would think to look there, because people stopped using VHS tapes in 2001. It's the perfect place to hide something. Nancy went to Aunt Eloise's side room, which contained an elaborate TV case, surrounded by rows of books. Nancy turned on the TV, but all she got was static. She looked around for a remote, but she didn't see one. Nancy slammed her hand against the TV. A book fell off of a shelf and opened up. Inside the book was the hidden key to the library. All right, Nancy said. She left Aunt Eloise's house, then went back to Paseo Del Mar High School. She had been to most of the school by now, but the one place she hadn't visited was the victim's locker. As you might expect, it was locked. What's the combination? Nancy wondered. She consulted her copy of Nancy Drew, Secrets Can Kill, to learn that it was 5253. When you're sending a text message and you spell the word Jake, those are the numbers you press. Nancy tried entering that combination, and it worked. At the top of the locker was an empty cassette box, a book entitled English Essays Through the Ages, and a magazine about judo. Apparently, a mysterious masked contestant entered the local men's judo competition and beat everyone without much effort. Interesting, Nancy said. I didn't know Batman lived in Florida. At the bottom of the locker was a newspaper about a break-in at the local pharmacy. The culprit had stolen some drugs that were also steroids. Wait a second, Nancy said. If Batman lives here, why didn't he stop the robbery? And come to think of it, why didn't he prevent Jake from being killed? Perhaps Batman was only in Florida for vacation. In any case, Nancy knew she was a cooler superhero than Batman, so she resolved to be the first one to solve the case. Besides, thanks to the fact that she had the game the book was based on, she pretty much knew all the answers ahead of time. Since I know Hulk Sanchez is abusing steroids to make up for his injuries, I'm guessing he stole the drugs from the pharmacy, Nancy concluded. She went to Hulk Sanchez to confirm her suspicions. The Hulk was still standing in a corner playing with a football. Can you tell me about the drugstore robbery? Nancy asked. Why would I know about that? The Hulk responded. All I know about is football. Oh, Nancy said. Then, do you know why Jake had an empty cassette tape in his locker? Why would I know about that? The Hulk responded. All I know about is football. Are you a boy or a girl? Nancy asked. Why would I know about that? Hulk responded. All I know about is football. Oh dear, Nancy said to herself. I think he's broken. Don't worry, Hulk. I'll go get help. Nancy turned around to go get someone when she tripped over her shoelaces again and slammed into the soda machine. Whap, whap, went the soda machine. Doh, Nancy said. Chapter 14, An Angry Connie. Okay, no big deal, Nancy said. I'll get Connie to come fix the soda machine. I've done that before. Nancy made her way to the study hall, where Connie carried out her important hall monitor duties. Nancy wasn't sure what those duties were. They clearly didn't have anything to do with the halls, seeing as Connie wasn't in the halls. They also didn't seem to have much to do with monitoring. Hey, Connie, Nancy said. What's up? Connie asked. Your medallion has a symbol which means crane, Nancy said, suddenly sounding intellectual. And Crane is the name of the judo school from the poster on the gym. Funny, I never noticed, Connie said. There was a pause. That's it? Nancy asked. That's a major plot point, and you're just going to brush it aside like that? What do you want me to say? Connie asked. I don't know anything about martial arts. Yeah, but maybe you know something about marital arts. Marital? Yeah, maybe you're getting married, Nancy said. I heard you canceled your Sadie Hawkins date with Daryl Gray so you could take Jake instead. What's up with that? I thought you said you hated Jake. Hey, a girl can make mistakes, can't she? Connie asked. You broke up with a guy you like, so you could date a guy you hate, Nancy said. That seems like more than just a mistake, if you ask me. It sounds like a motive. I didn't kill Jake Rogers, Connie said, and I don't appreciate these wild accusations. If you keep up with this misbehavior, I'll use judo to keep you in line. So you do know judo, Nancy said. Urgh, Connie said. Oh, and someone set off the soda machine alarm in the gym again, Nancy said. Connie stood up and flipped over the table in front of her in one smooth motion. She stomped out of the room and towards the gym. Gee, Nancy said to herself. I wonder what got her so angry. Chapter 15. Mitch Dillon. Nancy looked around the now empty study hall. With Connie out of the way, she could now enter the teacher's lounge. Using the key she had taken from Aunt Eloise's, she opened the door and went inside. Grabbing some of the pastries off the table, Nancy looked around. There's a bookcase, a map, many file cabinets, and wait. Nancy's detective senses were tingling. They directed her towards one drawer out of the 16 drawers. Then they led her to one file out of the dozens of files in the drawer. The file, which belonged to Hal Tanaka, contained a copy of his senior essay for English class. Nancy instantly recognized it as being taken word for word from the book in Jake's locker. He's a plagiarist, and Jake knew it, Nancy said. Motive! Nancy wasn't too concerned about this, to be honest. In all of her mysteries, every character seemed to have a motive. It wouldn't be much of a mystery if only the culprit had a motive, right? Nancy made her way to the computer and logged on with Aunt Eloise's ID and password. There wasn't much to look at besides a list of passwords and Aunt Eloise's email. The printer said it had something in the queue, so Nancy decided to print it out. It was the security file for the night of Jake's murder. According to the file, all of the suspects were probably at school that night. It didn't narrow things down at all. Nancy sighed and left the teacher's lounge. Immediately, her cell phone rang. According to caller ID, it was Mitch Dillon of Dillon HVAC calling. My copy of Secrets Can Kill say that he's the culprit, Nancy thought excitedly. She answered the call. You better stop your nosying, or it'll get bent way out of shape, a nasally voice said. Hey, Mitch, Nancy said. Sounds like you're having a rough day. What? The man said. How did you know my name? Caller ID, Nancy said. So, you're the school's air conditioning guy, right? Why'd you kill Jake? I don't know what you're talking about, Mitch said. I didn't kill anyone. Did he insult the air conditioning? Nancy asked. Do you think it was too warm or something? Is that it? I didn't kill anyone, Mitch repeated. Yeah, but you threatened me, Nancy said. How do you think the police are going to react when they find that out? I bet they'll be upset. And now you're threatening me, Mitch said. Leave me alone, unless you want to end up like Jake. I'm not worried, Nancy said honestly. I made friends with the Judo Master Hall monitor. She'll protect me. We'll see about that, said Mitch. Then he hung up. Chapter 16, Plagiarism. Nancy went to visit Hal Tanaka. The studious Japanese teenager was currently writing an essay. Hey, Hal, Nancy said. Look, I know you're innocent, but let's go through the motions anyway. I just learned that you plagiarized your senior essay, and Jake knew about it. Hal's face immediately fell. Yes, Nancy, he said. I am so ashamed. You could be expelled for plagiarism, Nancy said. Why'd you do it? I'm taking too many classes right now, Hal said. And I can't drop any classes because I have to become a doctor. I didn't have time to write a full essay. I see, Nancy said. So what did Jake do when he found out? He blackmailed me into doing his homework for the rest of the year, Hal said. Now I have even less time to write essays. But now that he's dead, you have your free time back, Nancy said. And nobody knows about your plagiarism escapade. Sounds like a pretty good motive to me. I did not kill Jake Rogers, Hal protested. I value human life. You're still at the top of my suspect list, Nancy said seriously. Well, to be honest, you're number 3 on the list because I put all the names in alphabetical order, but you're still near the top. With that cautionary warning, Nancy turned around and left the room. She also left the school, going straight for Maxine's diner. It's time for her to check in with her useless sidekick for this case, Detective Beach. Yo, Detective B, what's up? Nancy said. Not much going on my end, Detective Beach said. I've been sitting here drinking coffee, keeping an eye on the diner. I, appreciate the help, Nancy said. She had no idea why he thought it was important to guard an empty diner, but then again, he was kind of odd. What's new on your end? Detective Beach asked. Did you find the notebook yet? No, but it turns out that Hal Tanaka was being blackmailed by Jake, Nancy said. And thanks to the information from Jake's locker, I'm pretty sure that Hulk Sanchez is taking steroids to help out his football game. Do you think Jake was blackmailing the Hulk too? Beach asked. There's more, Nancy said. Connie went out with Jake even though she really didn't want to. I'm guessing he blackmailed her into doing it. So he was a serial blackmailer, Detective Beach said. I'm not done yet, Nancy said. 2 minutes ago, I got a text message from Aunt Eloise. Nancy held up her phone so Detective Beach could read it. Jake Rogers was a monster. He blackmailed me into ignoring his overdue library book fines. Now those 12 cents will never be repaid. I don't know what I can do. Jake Rogers was a bad kid, Beach agreed.